Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in for our November leadership meeting for millennials in travel. I'm Monica, Director of Operations, and we're going to kick off the meeting first with an update from Josh and those on his team. So Josh, I'll let you go ahead and get us started. Give us your updates.
Yeah, I think today's meeting should be somewhat short, which is good. But we are still moving forward, as each person will kind of talk about, on the development of a new project, Gen Z in travel, and working through that. Technology-wise, I'm just focusing on kind of like more corporate accounts. So we're looking at doing like logistically corporate accounts with like 1-800-Flowers and other platforms that we're using to allow for more people to have access to it directly. And just tweaking a few things with the CRM for errors to ensure that we can have more expeditious resolutions should there be issues. And then I think over the next couple of weeks, I can set up meetings if people do want to kind of have a larger deep dive into the CRM to know how to better use that platform. And from that, I think I'll just turn it over to Derek to just kind of give an overview on what we've been working on.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. So we've been meeting to go over, again, the launch strategy for the Gen Z and travel kind of build out. Where we are sitting currently, we have our 3 pillars of what we want to build off of. And then the next step or the next action item that I'm going to take on is reaching out to those who are in millennials in travel who were born after 1995 as a bit of a kind of planting the seed that we have an idea of making a Gen Z and travel branch off, not necessarily naming it such, just saying, oh, we're going to have a up and coming program to look at the next generation. Curious to get connected, and I'm going to be setting it as someone who is Gen Z, who has been in the industry for a couple of years now, to introduce myself and go from there. Excitingly, we have some people who have mentioned they want to be in leadership positions as well. So those individuals will be getting a personalized message on top of that saying, like, would you be interested in a leadership position in this new upcoming program as well? Again, planting the seed, nothing set in stone, but it's going to be a nice opportunity for us to get some new eyeballs, because maybe Josh and I have just become too comfortable with some things that we have as foundation pieces. And if we have more eyeballs, more perspectives, and that's always a positive. So that's where it's at currently.
I think the questions are going to be surrounding how does Gen Z and travel and millennials and travel coincide or coexist, and who's responsible for what. And so Derek and I are working through the programs that are going to be like millennials and travel will have some programs of which Gen Z feeds into. Gen Z will have some of its own programs. So there will be some managers that will kind of be overseeing both, one of which, the exclusive benefits, there's no reason we need to segment that out. However, some other components, such as we're going to need somebody focused on academic relations for Gen Z and travel, which is not necessarily a role for millennials and travel. So Gen Z and travel is going to take on the pre-MIT, if you will, in that getting people excited about the industry, into the industry, and then supporting them in the beginning years. And then the programs that millennials and travel is doing can either be replicated for Gen Z and travel or just coexist. And then from an event platform or standpoint, it's unlikely that we're going to have specific programs like FAMs or events specific to Gen Z and travel for 3, 4, 5 years. Maybe one here and there, but we're looking at then chapters having some type of Gen Z relations person on the board. Gen Z will operate at some point as its own entity. And yeah, we'll just kind of all figure it out together. And I think once there's more of a foundation on the framework, that's when Derek will present to all of us to get our feedback on how that works. And I think there's probably 3 reiterations of which it'll be presented, tweaked, represented to a different audience, tweaked again. And then our plan is the end of January to officially launch. And there is a strategy that we put into place for that. So stay tuned for that. Jumping over to, we have, I don't know if I mentioned in the last meeting, but we have modified the philanthropy role. So Zach is no longer in that role. He's taking a step back and he's going to focus on Texas chapter development. I have an interview in a couple of days for somebody that we're going to be focusing on bringing philanthropy and sustainability into one role. So that's later this week, and hopefully she'll be on board, and then we'll have somebody focus on that, which will then try to integrate through any of the programs or the activities that we're doing within the organization. So then over to Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yeah.
Almost ended me, and I had some really sick kids, so I apologize. I don't have very many updates. We did get response back from Travel and Adventure Show. They are interested in having us come to New York. We're waiting to see what kind of capacity that looks like, so we'll certainly share updates. They also want to know what other events we're interested in participating, as well with a booth and a panel or some sort of speaking engagement. So would love to hear, obviously from the events team, if it is something that we're wanting to do, coincide events at the same time, to try to pick that up next year now that we have dates really set in advance. And barring any catastrophe happening, they should be going on. So I'll certainly send those over, the days that she sent that she was keen to place us at, and we can start to work through that. And then this is just kind of in my role because I live in Arizona, but we just heard back and finalized dates for Arizona for the FAM for Phoenix Scottsdale. So we just need to decide on the dates. So I know Anina's not on the call, but Monica, we were able to get Arizona Biltmore to confirm that they can do January 7th through the 13th. So whatever dates in between that is what could work. So I just wanted to throw that because I know we're needing to finalize that really kind of quickly.
Yeah.
So I literally just got the email like 5 minutes before the call. So that's kind of where we're at. I'll send it over so that everybody has it, but I just wanted to let you guys know that now.
Okay, thank you. So going back to the travel and adventure shows, I know that Josh, we had already kind of planned for events in some of the cities. So send us over the list of what they want us to do so that we can see if it matches, what the events that we had created, like for pop-up events in the cities. And then of course, anywhere we have a chapter, we'll work with them to do an event in those cities as well for the adventure show series. And then yes, for the FAM in Phoenix, it's good to know because we do want to coincide our Phoenix Scottsdale chapter launch with that FAM. So that's perfect. Thank you. I'll connect with Nina to get the dates squared away for that so that we can work backwards from there and finally get Phoenix and Scottsdale relaunched.
Does anybody see any need for us to, we've always had the opportunity or extended it to us to have a booth at the travel and adventure shows and other shows that we support. We've never utilized that at all, but I mean, does anybody think of a need or a reason for us to have a booth at these shows? I guess maybe Derek, this wouldn't be something, or this could be something in the future for us to consider for Gen Z. Like, it never served a purpose for millennials in travel, but for Gen Z, if Gen Z were to have a booth to talk about, bringing people into the industry, that might be something.
It could get support from the people already existing in the industry if we're trying to tap into people to like that next generation, then I'd utilize resources elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, if we want it as an announcement, if we want to get PR pickup and if we have a speaking engagement at something, then we can also have a booth. Yeah, I mean, I think it
Would somebody in Gen Z come to the travel and adventure show, or you
if
know,
they're
is
in the
that
industry, yes.
would not? I mean, maybe if they're not in the industry, or like if anybody can think of like younger friends or family members, like do younger people go to consumer shows?
unless
would-
it's, I don't know.
Okay.
No.
It would be existing older travel industry professionals that we'd be notifying of our existence and our mission,
Yeah.
more so.
So I think maybe that's
Like-
I don't think a booth is, I don't think it's the right fit for
I think
us.
if we make TikToks instead, then it might be a better medium. But
Yeah, I think it's, I
You
think
can,
it's.
you can make TikToks at the booth.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think there's
Good one.
value in doing the panel discussions and any speaking engagements. And then, of course, if we have an event that coincides, you know, as a pop-up event, that works well, but I'm not sure that there's a need for a booth, would be my opinion. Anything else? Anyone else have anything to add?
That's
No?
it for me. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. I'm gonna switch it up now, and because we just kind of jumped right in without properly announcing the new face on the screen today, so I apologize. Sometimes I just jump right into things, but we'll switch over to communications. And with that, I want to introduce Natalie, who's joining our team as our media relations manager, a role that is desperately needed. We're very excited for Natalie to join the team. Natalie, if you want to just unmute and say hello to everyone, tell us a little bit about yourself. And then Caitlin, I'll let you take over and give us updates from your team.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Super excited to be in this role. I have been a part of the LA chapter of Millennials in Travel for the past 4 years now. So I recently made the switch over to a PR agency. So I've been there for a few months now. They're headquartered out of San Diego, but I work remotely out of LA. And then prior to this, I was on the PR team at the Beverly Hills Hotel and Hotel Bel Air. So very familiar with hospitality. And then my clients right now are actually all hospitality clients. So I've just gone over to the opposite side from in-house to agency life. So excited to bring some knowledge to MIT and help us all succeed.
Thank you. We're so excited to have you. I know like so much of what we do is news that we want to share with the world. So very happy to have you on board. And I know that you and Caitlin and Josh are going to work together to create a very robust media relations strategy for us that we're excited about. So thank you. Caitlin, do you want to go ahead and take over and give us a communications update?
Yeah, sure. So Amber and I have been meeting kind of weekly for the past couple of weeks and just kind of like, you know, really starting from the ground up, and Amber's had some really great insights, and we're working on the strategy and the timeline and just kind of finalizing that. One thing that Amber was able to secure for us is having the ability to be able to embed a hyperlink into our IG stories. Like previously we were not able to do that. So it was always like link in bio. And then, you know, our link in bio always had something, you know, we were like constantly doing something with a FAM or an event or whatever. But now Amber was able to secure that for us. So moving forward, it's going to be so much easier for us to share links via our Instagram stories. So thank you, Amber, for that.
I'm so excited never to say link in bio ever again.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, because we're promoting so much. We have so much going on. So it's now we don't have to like jostle between or toggle between the link in bios all the time now. So thanks, Amber, for that. And then another thing too is Amber and I have been talking about wanting to, you know, and we've talked about this before, but work on more like posts where we're partnering with brands and things like that and be a little bit more proactive about that. So we're really wanting to, you know, hopefully maybe lean on people like Elizabeth or people who are already like in contact with like warm contacts, if you will, rather than Amber like reaching out cold, like starting with some contacts that we are already working with that might be open to like cross promotions or whatever. On social media. So Amber and I are working on that and hopes to move forward So you'll probably hear from us, Elizabeth, on that. And then also Amber and I had talked about engagement posts, like promoting or posting more things that will engage our community. You know, we've been really good and about posting about what we're doing when it comes to events and things that we're doing, but how can we engage more with our members? So Amber's going to do that for the next couple of weeks for us. And we'll just kind of see what kind of feedback we get and on which platform we get. And so hopefully we'll report back on our next call next month and have a bit more feedback depending on the engagement that we get from our people. And then I think that's pretty much it. I know we might be also looking for another digital content person. So we're not 100% there yet, but if everyone can maybe keep that in the back of their mind that we might be needing to find someone to handle our digital content. But in the meantime, I've just been doing that. You probably saw the newsletter go out. And that's pretty much it. I think I'll let Amber go from there unless anybody has any questions.
I just want to jump in with anything with regards to our communication. If anybody has any insight or input on how to improve it,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, you know, hey, your subject lines are super boring. Your, you know, anything like that. I think we're always trying to improve. And so I'd love for us to get into like the official testing of like A/B testing or trying to figure out, you know, what are keywords that enable users or are likely to employ users or people to open newsletters or anything like that. So if anybody has any input, feel free to share that with Caitlin so we can, you know, be more effective.
Yeah, thank you, Josh, because I feel like we're kind of, you know, doing what we think is best. But, you know, if you guys see something when you receive a communication email or you see us post something or you see something on the website, you know, definitely don't hesitate to reach out and let us know how we could do better.
And then how's the process working? I know like Charleston team sent through a content submission form, so that's good. And you'll put that on the event on the website. And then for social media, like is the content submission form and like your process working?
Yeah. So it is working. Maybe this was me also, but I had a little bit of confusion today because Amber and I had already added to Asana the Charleston launch event with a date of like, you know, to be promoted by November 17 or something, I think we put, but in their promote by event, it was by tomorrow. And I was like, oh, like that's very soon.
I know the reason they did that is because I want to send the invite tomorrow or this week, but we don't send the invite until it's on the website. So that's why they put the date. So there's a lot of things going on with that content submission form. Remember, here's all the information to put it on the website, and that needs to be done first. And then when it comes to promoting,
which is on the website now.
If we need to add a section of like needs to be on the website by this date, promoted on this date, like any modifications to forms, and really extending that to anybody. So like the likes of like, maybe we need to add, you know, do we need to create a press release from it? And then obviously that would involve Natalie. So it's like, we definitely develop.
We need to make to the form. Yeah, but anytime there's a deadline, that never applies to social media because you guys have your own social media calendar and like you're scheduling things according to all the communications that are going on, not just Charleston chapter event. So any deadline they put, that doesn't apply to social media. It's more for get it on the website by this date so that we can then send the invite. Because remember, we create the Eventbrite, then it has to go on the website, then we send the actual Zoho invite. So it's that kind of weird back and forth right there in that process. But that would be the only.
I just might need reminders, but it's on the website.
Oh, okay. That was fast. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, I just might need reminders with that stuff. But anyway, we have it on our calendar to promote by the 17th. And then if we need it, and then always
for social media, the event is December 1st. So you have from November 1st to December 1st to promote it whenever and however you'd like, whenever you need content, whenever, you know, you guys want to promote it. That's all on you. You schedule that according to your full social media calendar.
Yep. Amber, I think you're next.
Yeah, perfect.
And then it might have been confusing too because Charleston has an event November 16th and an event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that was my bad on the beach cleanup. I put that was their first in-person event, but then on their content submission form, they were like, this is our first official in-person event. But yeah, so
Fine.
maybe we changed the language a little bit there though.
Yeah, what happened was they scheduled the December 1st as the like official chapter launch event. And then someone, raised their hand and said, we want to host an event. Can you do November 16th? And we'll have it be a beach cleanup and a philanthropy event. So it's almost like a soft launch and then the launch. So it doesn't matter if you say this is the first event or that's the first event. You can just say, first our philanthropy event, and come hear about our chapter plans or whatever it is. And then December 1st is the official chapter launch.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, so one of the things that we're working on too is we want to kind of uniform the feed. And so one thing that we talked about recently is kind of like using Canva to make new designs, so that because we're posting about a lot of different things, but we want our feed to look pretty uniform and very nice and aesthetic and everything. So we're working on that. And so whenever those photos come through, like it's really nice when those content submission forms have photos attached to them. So that's really good. But then another thing that we were talking about is like engagement and followers. Because I think the more engagement and followers and people just interacting with our stuff is going to lead to more people actually in the organization. And so we're working on that. But one thing like us as a team and even our chapter heads that we can talk about is kind of the best ways to engage with our stuff. Like if you see a millennial in travel post, if you can like hit that save button, like that save button just goes into your save stuff. So like engaging with our content that way, and then saving a post is kind of the second best thing you can do. Commenting is always really helpful, and then a like is kind of like that point you hand to the person strumming their guitar in New York. And so just kind of helping us there. The more engagement, the more that Instagram is going to push it to other people, and the more that your followers and friends and whatever are going to see the post as well. So
Is there something, should we, I mean, I don't think us sending out an email or any type of communication of, hey, we're going to post this today, please like it. But I think maybe, if you can, maybe it's just a little note saying like, these are the options that are available. Like, I didn't even really know about saving something.
Okay.
So other people might not either. And so I'm thinking like, if you can kind of like outline all of the ways in which chapter or officers or those that are in the organization can participate and engage, and encourage daily, weekly, whatever. I think that will help.
Yeah, I could do that. I could kind of just send out a communication of like how to support us, like in the best ways that's just going to help us. I think that's a good idea. I can make a note to do that in the next couple of days.
And then I maybe also remind everybody that, with the Takeover Tuesdays, I'm assuming I'm sorry, I'm not really on social media, but I'm assuming that we're still doing that, and that there's an opportunity for us to like specifically go on Tuesdays and create that engagement or increase that engagement from a leadership level.
Yeah, definitely.
How's that going with the scheduling? I haven't checked it in about a week with people taking the takeovers. Are the chapter officers helping, and are we getting good content there?
They are here and there, but I think we have that FAM coming up. We have some like things coming up that we're going to have takeovers a lot more. So I think it'll be fine the rest of the year. But I think that's something Amber and I should look at for 2022 moving forward, and how we can like maybe better utilize the Takeover Tuesdays from our chapters.
Okay. Yeah, just let me and Stephanie know. We're going to start obviously working with each of the chapters on a 2022 strategy. So for now, I'll keep it as part of the plan for like each chapter we have 6 chapters now. So it should be, they take over once every 6 weeks. By the start of the year, we'll have our 7th chapter on board. So it'll be, every 7 weeks. So
yeah.
Let me know if we need
Is
to
this something that do we want to extend this to our sponsors, or, you're talking about brands.
Yeah.
And working together with brands, maybe like one of those, maybe it's like one random Thursday. It's like some other type of like, I don't want to get too like in bed with a brand, unless it's one that's like we're extremely like participatory in like common goals. I would throw Bellman in that category. I
Yeah.
would throw Viceroy in that category, Virgin in that category, in which like we've done a lot of things and we want to fully support that. But that can also play into, you know, these larger sponsorships. So involve Elizabeth, and maybe it's, you know, these co-branded press releases involving Natalie and, you know, like larger programs.
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. And I know, Amber, you did have a question about like how we have these content forms coming in for us internally. If we have a content form that could work for us externally when speaking with other brands and requesting, I guess, content from outside of our organization for potential partnerships in the future.
Is that the form actually was built for external use as well. So you'll see one of the drop downs is like, who are you? Like one of them is a member. We can add a sponsor. We can add a sponsor. We can create a whole new form. So
there you go.
It's completely up to you guys what you want. Maybe you want less information. I'm not, whatever you want, it can be built.
Cool.
Whatever you want, Josh can do it. Okay.
Within reason.
All right. Anything else for communications? Does anyone have any questions for Caitlin or Amber or Natalie? Don't put her on the spot yet. She just started. I haven't even officially onboarded her yet. It's coming tonight, Natalie, I promise. All right. So we'll switch over to Kate with any updates or membership. I know Kim isn't here. She emailed me and said she was going to give you an update on a few things. She's traveling at the moment. And then I'd love to hear from Amanda. So over to you, Kate.
Yeah, not a ton of updates for everyone. Just definitely have finalized the membership survey. So I'm gonna liaise with Josh and the team about getting that actually out to the members just to see, you know, what they want to see from us in the future and how we can best support them. And that's really the biggest thing, I guess, you know, reporting back for you guys. I did connect with Kim and she did send me an update. So I just want to read to everyone what she sent me.
Can I ask one question before you move on? Just do we know do we know when the membership survey is going out? I think we talked about that on our last director call, but did we change the date? Are we sticking with that?
I think the last time was the 9th that we were going to do it.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to propose this to everyone. But Derek and I talked about adding like one question. I also think we might need to tweak it just slightly.
Okay.
The ordering of the question. What I think we should do is actually take this, send it out to this team, the entire team, like not just directors, but like the entire team, get their feedback, and then let's revise it, and let's still try to aim for November 9th. So that's in 8 days. So why don't we send it out in the next 2 or 3 days? If everybody on this call or all the national leaders can kind of take that survey, give us their feedback, we'll tweak it. But we do want, I think we want to add one question on behalf of Gen Z, something like, you know, what would have inspired, or what inspired you to join the travel industry? Or we want to answer a question that's applicable to Gen Z, and it's something that we can then lead in when we do start some media coverage on the announcement of Gen Z, of saying, you know, according to Millennials in Travel, you know, membership survey in November 2021, you know, inspiration came from blah, 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 blah. Or I don't know what that question looks like, but if everybody can maybe have some thoughts on like what would be an applicable question of something that we want to answer for Gen Z, and then also take the survey.
So really quick, and I guess we can always take this offline, but I would love everyone else's feedback. Are we going to say like, if you were born after like 1990, whatever, like answer this question to?
No. So it's a question that's from a millennial or an MIT perspective.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it could be what inspired you to join the travel industry. We want to figure out how we can be more applicable for Gen Z and travel in targeting people. And I feel like the industry is moving in the wrong direction, unfortunately, with less inspiration, or people, especially with COVID, seeing travel less as an option for a career. And we don't want that. We need to move in the other direction. And so we need to figure out what questions we need to answer in order for Gen Z to be more effective in the marketplace.
Okay, well, I can tag everyone in Asana just so you guys can all take a look at where the membership survey is at right now with like the directors and Elizabeth's feedback so far. And then I can, before I do that, I can like throw in a question or in that ballpark and get everyone's feedback just on wording and just tone and all of that. And then, yeah, we can still shoot for the November 9th date, which sounds good. Any other questions or?
How's that gonna be set up as a form, and then where's the information gonna go? Like, what's the follow-up? Like, what happens after the survey?
We're gonna have to beta test that because it is built through surveys, but I believe it will attach to their contact. The promotion of it though on socials, unless they're, I'm not sure how that works, unless we ask them for their MIT ID, which some people don't really have. So this might be, let's meet this week, figure it out. I'm now, I don't know, I want to make sure that we obviously capture.
Do we want to send that membership like cleanup email first then?
I'm now thinking that, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that might, and then maybe we look at, I know Kate, we've been pushing this off, but maybe then we look at like a later in the year, although it's November, or like 1st of January, if like, you know, these are our new initiative. I'm not really sure. We'll take this offline and talk.
okay.
Okay, I know it keeps getting shuffled around and yeah.
I think it's fine if it's like an end of the year thing. Like Stephanie and I are going to be meeting with each of the chapters like this month to develop that, full 2022 strategy. And so it's fine if if we get it out at some point this month, maybe we do the membership cleanup like this week or next week, because that email is ready to go, right? There's nothing holding that up. And
just a review on rhetoric, but
yeah, so I say we should try to do that, and then maybe the week before Thanksgiving we can send the survey, and we'll probably have to send the survey out a couple of times, and then also add it to our newsletter.
Yeah. Or whatever it ends up being. If it's like December, we can take it offline and figure it out sometime in the next like.
Well, it'll be good to know as soon as possible too, some of that feedback, so that as we're developing the strategy for next year, we have that taken into consideration.
Which I don't think we also were planning on doing a newsletter for December, correct? I think we're like thinking or leaning more towards like a little holiday message. Yeah.
Combining November, December.
Yeah.
Just like we kind of combined, I want to say June and July. So
Yeah.
we do like 10 newsletters a year and skip every 5th one or 6th one.
Yeah. One over the main summer months and then one over the 2 holiday months, I think makes sense. Okay, well,
Yeah.
keep us posted. Okay, so then you can give the update on Kim now?
Yeah. So everyone look out for your Asana. I will be tagging you all just to look at that membership survey, so we can at least just hone in on that whenever it goes out. We'll figure that part out. And then from Kim, she said, right now we're up to 7 confirmed benefits, with the most recent additions being $200. Yeah, I know. $200 off entree travel and 50% off the Travel Advisor virtual assistants. She does have a couple of other things in the works, and specifically wanted to shout out a thank you to you, Monica, for the connection with Access. And she's also working with Andrew at the Bridge. It's, I think, right now, she said it's about a $5 off membership discount. So those are the 2 things that are coming up. I know in every meeting, she also does love asking for suggestions. Just if you guys see something cool on Instagram, or like know a colleague or someone in the industry that you think could be awesome to benefit our members, if you have a personal connection, that would be amazing. But even if not, you just be like, hey, this would be cool. This is something I would be interested in. Please just email her and at benefits, at millennialsandtravel.com, and she can, take it up, try and find a connection, all of that. So she is always looking for everyone's input.
I think too, some of the feedback we've been getting, because I'm getting every single, like when somebody provides feedback through our website or makes a suggestion, I get those emails and get back to them as I can. But a lot of the feedback that we're seeing is, just more professional development. And of course, this is tied in with Amanda's role as well. So Kim and Amanda, can kind of put their heads together, but any professional development, training courses, certification programs, anything that's going to further, promote someone at any stage in their career, I think that would be, really good to try to get programs like that added too. So if anybody has any ideas, please share those with Kim and with Amanda. Amanda's role being in professional development, they'll kind of go hand in hand in that subject matter. So if you have any ideas or suggestions or connections with anyone, let us know.
Yeah.
I think it would be helpful also, Kate, I don't know if you get those emails that with people providing comments, but Derek and I actually looked at a couple earlier this week. I think it would be great for everybody on the leadership call, like moving forward, if there's like some type of aggregate summary of like the feedback we've gotten in the past month. So I'll add you to that. And then, just like, what are people talking about? What are they asking about? And then maybe that'll help us brainstorm either new programs or tweaking programs. So I'll add you to that so you can get it. And then if on the next leadership call, if you can kind of summarize like what you've seen come in from members, that I think will be helpful.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, maybe can we just have like a Google Doc, like an Excel spreadsheet with like the feedback, like the person's name, their company, and then there's no way to automate that, I assume, right? Because it's coming in as a website thing. So
No, there is.
oh, okay. Into like a spreadsheet.
Mhm.
But I think that'd be helpful.
We're paying the big bucks for this platform.
It's what?
We're paying the big bucks for this platform. They better automate that.
Can we set that up then where we can kind of, yeah, like you said, aggregate?
Right on top of that, Rose.
Thank you very much. You're the best assistant I've ever had. Because
For all of you youngins, that's from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. So.
Thank you for explaining.
We shouldn't have to explain it. That should just be an automatic.
I had to explain The Devil Wears Prada to Derek when we first had our first call. So.
Come
I'm
on,
gonna leave the
that's
call
not
right now.
even.
It was great seeing you guys.
And with that, he's exiting.
Maybe our December meeting will be a team watch party for Devil Wears Prada. Come on, Babysitters. No, but I think that is helpful. And then if we all have that link, we can look on there, because I do what I can. Like I forward it to chapters to respond to if they're asking chapter specific questions. I've had, other people on the team respond if it pertains to their, so I think that'll be good to have it all in one place. So thanks for doing that. Okay, and I think that was it for exclusive benefits. So over to professional development, Amanda.
There we go. Hi.
Hey.
Hello. So also jumping off on the benefits, I can definitely look into something either Sabre related or Apollo, because I think that that's something that, if we can get a discount would be a good thing to offer if we can get that. So I definitely have been had that on my list to reach out to see if we can get some sort of coupon off of that, because that's a great thing. I think if people can have that training ahead of time. And my update is just really getting everything updated with the job board. I've been cleaning it up, and then also looking on LinkedIn with trying to get some new posts that I've been seeing on LinkedIn for some jobs. Putting in some communication with some of those people and adding in. So that's kind of my main thing that I've been doing right now. So too much to update, but just cleaning the board up and getting rid of some of the stuff after I talked to Maya to get some of the contacts just for ones that have been on there for a little bit longer. So
I think we do.
I would have copied you on every email. If we just don't hear back from them and it's been on there a while, just go ahead and remove it. I'm not sure which one is still pending. I know that the LVH, that was kind of a weird thing, because they said, well, you're not supposed to put it, because Josh, the person that contacted us for those LVH jobs was actually a recruiter. And that person is no longer there. And a new person said, if you're posting jobs, you can't say the company name. So it's actually like a head recruiter that was sending us this job opportunity.
We filled one of their roles and they were thankful. So I'm not worried about it.
I know.
I think
like we're doing your work for you, but
because we've been successful in this, and Natalie, we've kind of been holding off until we've had somebody in this role, but we have like pending press releases or content that we can promote, that being like these exclusive benefits. And as we continue to develop this portfolio, we want to use that as a catalyst to obviously highlight the organization as well as those that are extending benefits. So that's one topic that we kind of put out there. And then also the jobs. I mean, we've had great feedback from from people who have sent us job submissions. And so both from the participants that get the jobs as well as either recruiters or people searching for jobs. So those are kind of pending, and we can talk more about that on Wednesday.
Amanda, you said you'd been going on LinkedIn, and I think we talked briefly. I don't know if you had a chance to connect with Caitlin and Amber to kind of talk about LinkedIn posts, how that might work, how you guys can kind of work together on that.
Haven't yet, but on my list, because I know that when we chatted, that would be good that if I can get on board with your LinkedIn account to really communicate with people that way. I've just been doing it off of mine, but I have that on there to reach out to Kate to chat a little bit further to get into that, because I think that would be beneficial because a lot of people post on that. So that's a good way to get to post than just, people reaching out to us, as we had that email that came in, I guess, over the weekend for someone that wanted to find out how they can post the job. So that's on my list to do as well.
Yeah, feel free to just email us and just use social at,
Okay.
and we can talk about that in more depth. I think that would be great.
Okay, and I finally figured out Asana, so I think I'm good now. That was my first challenge. I'm an elder millennial. I'm not as good with technology, but I think I finally figured out how to use it now. So now I feel much better.
You'll learn like new features all the time too. And it's one of those things, the more you use, the more it becomes useful for you. So it's just spending time in there. The more you put in, the more you get out of it.
The more that I'm going into it, I'm like, okay, this makes more sense. But at first, I know Kayla got the one message that she's like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know. Sorry.
It's tricky when we have templates. And just kind of a broad comment too on Asana. One thing I've been trying to do is, because we have templates created for a lot of our positions, for benefits, for professional development, for FAMs, for everything, for events, there's a template. And so it's general. And even though when you turn it into a project, it attaches to the name of that project, I've been updating the task too to kind of specify. So instead of like today, when I sent something over to Caitlin, like update this on the website, it didn't just say update bio on website, it said update bio for and the person's name on website, just to kind of help the templates work, but then they're so general that sometimes it's like, wait, what is this for? And then sometimes if someone's not part of a team or assigned to the task, it gets even more confusing, but we'll get there. I think it's definitely helped us a lot, streamline things and cut down on emails. So
yeah, it's very helpful. It's just figuring it out is the first step.
Definitely. Okay. So I will go ahead and kind of just wrap up with a couple of things. I'm not sure why Erica's not here. I think she might be traveling, but I wasn't aware. So I need to touch base with her and get her really going on the USTOA meetup that I hope we want to have. Derek and I will be attending, and Nina will also be there. I'm not sure if anyone else is attending USTOA in San Diego, but we'll try to schedule a meetup, I think on the Tuesday before. So with anyone that's in San Diego, and I'll coordinate with the San Diego chapter as well. Sorry, one second. And then we'll also touch base with Elizabeth with those travel and adventure shows, and again, try to do pop-up meetup events there. And then Erica's kind of been helping me with the process of the chapter events. Stephanie is going to be coming on board. We're finally going to have a call this week. Thank you, Stephanie, for your patience to kind of get her up and running with helping more with the chapter operations. Josh and Caitlin and Kate and I have had our hands in everything for so long that sometimes it's hard to kind of really define and hand over some of the job duties, but I know Stephanie's going to be an integral part of our operations team. So excited to get her on board as well to help with some of the chapter development. We'll be developing new 2022 strategies with each chapter. It'll kind of match the similar framework, which will be 4 events per year, 4 professional networking events per year, so 1 per quarter, plus a recommendation of a social event and a philanthropy event per year. So a minimum of 6 events per chapter is our hope. Some may do more, hopefully they don't do less, but that's the desire. And then anything else from there that's, in collaboration with other suppliers, with other people is open for approval as well. So that'll be the main focus for my November and December, is just getting those chapters, set on a path for success for next year, and getting them started early on putting together these events.
Do we have any national or like larger holiday event plans?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. Unless, did you want, I mean, if you want to like charter a boat and fly us all somewhere, we could probably do that.
We did hit a milestone in the bank account, which I'm so happy about.
Not in the red.
We are 1/6 of the way there to possibly getting an app created.
Okay. So we'll be doing a can drive.
Let's just do baked goods.
baked
Like
good.
everybody just bake shit. And then we'll just then we'll get to like maybe a third of the way to an app. Yeah, I think an app is like $30,000.
All right.
So
We'll get there eventually.
Big day.
No, we don't have any plans for a holiday. Now, the Chicago team has a holiday event plan. Obviously, the Charleston one is in December. That'll kind of have a festive spin to it. Really struggling with Vancouver and with Los Angeles right now, but again, you know, hoping to Los Angeles isn't struggling. They had their July event, that was great, and they
it's
do have
November.
something in the works for December. I know,
Okay.
but you know, we'll see. I'm more concerned
Well-
about getting things set for a strong next year. This year is kind of
That's
weird.
fine.
Building year with events, obviously with like the pandemic. So I'm more concerned about setting us up for a really strong, you know, 2022. And if they can pull off holiday events this, you know,
Well,
this
if we
winter.
also, if we look at, if we bring in, you know, this person for philanthropy and like sustainability, maybe there's something that, if anybody has any thoughts on maybe some type of philanthropic, like obviously not in person, but that we can get behind and
share.
support.
Yeah, and this would be, once we have that person in place, I think that's the feedback I'm getting for our chapter officers too, is for Millennials in Travel as a whole to have a philanthropic focus. So, you know, that's something where maybe we can all kind of make suggestions. We can put it out to a vote, even to our members, as like a way to engage with our members, like what philanthropies matter to you? What would you like to see Millennials in Travel get behind? And then that might look different in every city, but it's kind of an umbrella focus, you know, or a theme. So that gives our chapter some direction. And then from a national perspective, it can be something ongoing that we participate in Chicago or LA or San Diego or New York, wherever you are. Even if we don't have a chapter there, you can somehow get involved and share the story about it. And so, but we need someone in that philanthropy position.
Yeah, right. And maybe it's also like kind of aligned with like recovery efforts in a post-COVID world or something like that, where, you know, collectively we can all support one cause through our own, you know, personal distribution platforms or socials. And, you know, I think that I don't want to make it like a year of like the year of recovery or something like that. But I mean, if we can come up with some like shtick that we, you know, have like, again, that could warrant, you know, press release and additional coverage, and then alliance with, you know, US Travel Association or ASTA or something like that.
Oh, for sure. But I think if we can get someone in that role to come on and, you know, help us create a kind of holistic philanthropy.
So I can tell you just quickly for what we did for Prost was that our charity of choice at the time was this last year was the local Arizona Restaurant Association had a huge fund for restaurant workers during all of this. And so everything that we did above and beyond went to that fund. So there's probably still those funds out there, something along those lines, that although it's not technically, you know, in the travel sphere, it's in the hospitality sphere. And it made sense for us. There wasn't one specific for hospitality. So the restaurant one was the one that we went to. So it could be something that is going on in every state. I don't know if that's a national thing or not, but that's what we did here in Arizona.
What if we were to do something similar where, you know, it's like, hey, during the month of December, I'm just speaking off the cuff, you know, support a non corporate, you know, restaurant, you know, during this week or this month or whatever, send us, you know, a copy of your receipt, and like, we'll pick one, you know, receipt out of each state that we have a chapter in to, you know, send them like an additional $100, or, we'll match whatever like your bill was, although that could get pretty crazy in New York or something.
Yeah, be careful.
Um,
You guys start- Well, but I that could be like a good social media,
we do like some that like we can throw like, $500 towards some type of philanthropic activity that is involved in tourism and hospitality. So maybe
Yeah, but
like
you-
everybody have some
you can
thoughts.
say you can say a match, because I mean, you look at like the likes of T-Mobile and State Farm, they'll do that. They'll throw it out there and say, oh, it's a match.
We'll match up to $500.
Right. And that's what they say. They're like, we'll match up to $500,000. We'll match up to 2 million, but obviously at a bigger scale, but they
Right.
don't say that in the ad. It's in the fine print. Right. But the statement is that it's a
Yeah.
match.
I mean, I think it's, if we do I obviously can't match. And I mean, it's like a raffle, basically, like, hey, do this, send us the receipt, and like, we will, pull a raffle from one out of every state or something like that. I don't know, everybody have some thoughts, and if they like have any, so you can send them to philanthropy@millennialsandtravel.com. And then once we have somebody in that role, hopefully in the next week,
Yeah,
we'll kind of have thoughts further.
hopefully she comes on board. I think it'll be really, really helpful for us to have that philanthropy approach, or strategy for the whole organization, I should say. Okay, and then just Stephanie, I'm sorry, did you want to say anything? I know that we're having our call this week, and we're gonna really focus on ways that you can jump in and help with the chapter development with our existing chapters and growing new chapters. I don't know if you have anything you wanted to share at this time.
I think I just need to chat with you first.
Yeah, I know. I was like, we need someone in this role so badly. And then it's been a month now since I've been able to fully bring Steph on board, but it's going to happen. And I know you're going to be a huge relief for.
You're fine. Once we chat, we can hit the ground running.
Yeah, and then I'll just end, and then we can open it up for any further discussion. But I'll just end with a quick update from Anina on FAMs. We have, of course, our 2 last remaining FAMs of the year going out for November and December. Those are already finalized. Everyone, the applications are closed. The selection process is done. So those are pretty much locked and loaded. And then she is working on, of course, the 2022 plans for our FAMs with a lot of exciting things in the works. So if you do come across anyone that's interested in partnering with Millennials in Travel on a FAM, be sure to direct them to Anina. She can be contacted at fams@millennialsandtravel.com. Remember, as leaders of Millennials in Travel, you are all eligible to attend as a FAM host on behalf of Millennials in Travel. So do keep that in mind. Anina and Josh and I, will kind of coordinate the final details. She'll send out any opportunities that we have for upcoming FAM hosting. And it doesn't matter what you do for your day job. As a Millennials in Travel host, you're representing Millennials in Travel and can participate in our FAMs as well. So that's a fun opportunity for you all. But she's got some exciting things in the work for 2022. We're also hoping to bring on a second person to help with FAMs. So just kind of ending with, our open positions and what we're looking for right now. Chapter wise, we've got 1 position open in San Diego, which I believe I may have filled last week. So that's exciting. That team will be full again. New York just had a position open, but I also have a lead on someone for that. So hopefully that will be filled, and then that will be all of our chapter roles are full. We did find out that one of our members of our Charleston leadership team is moving to Miami, which will actually benefit us because we did have Miami potentially as a chapter that we wanted to relaunch. So that will give us another person to help start that restart that chapter again. And that's it for chapters. I believe every other chapter has a full leadership team. And then from a manager standpoint, we're looking for somebody to help with technology, right, Josh, and the website. And Caitlin, they're like, yes, please. So if you know anybody that is really wanting to, work on web design, website updates, anything technology related, send them our way. We definitely need someone to join the team that can handle Zoho and yeah.
You just want to also provide kind of like an overview on new chapters or like what we're looking at?
Yeah, so we are hoping to have Phoenix, Scottsdale, as I mentioned early on, the team, Elizabeth has worked so hard to recruit and find people. And so far we have 2 people confirmed for the leadership team. And then we kind of just keep hitting roadblocks with everyone else. I think we actually have a third. I do think someone from Camelback will come on board as well. So I feel strong. I feel comfortable moving forward with the launch. If we have 3 chapters or 3 officers in the chapter leadership team. So that Phoenix Scottsdale should be set to launch. And again, we'll coincide the launch event with the January Scottsdale FAM. And then beyond that, it's, where we see opportunity and demand. I think DC, Boston are at the top. I've actually had some recent interest again emerge for San Francisco. We had planned to launch or relaunch Dallas, but are kind of shifting now maybe to Houston because we do see a bit more demand from Houston. And then of course, relaunching Miami as well. So that's kind of at the top.
Denver, is Denver on that list too?
Denver's on the list as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any personal relations that would be interested in,
yeah,
yes, in those cities, please send them
Please
to
look,
Monica.
me and Stephanie and I'll get working
Or something.
on launching those new chapters. I believe that's it for me. Does anybody have any questions? No? All right. Well, thank you all for joining our meeting this month. I'll be sure to follow up with the agenda. And if Caitlin and Kate and Josh can stay on for a few minutes, just have one thing I want to talk to you about, and then I'll see everyone next month. And I guess have a happy Thanksgiving. It's so early in the month. It feels like it's still October. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you all in September.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.